Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I'm Henry Higgins, and last night Josh and I went to see The Batman at Gallery in Carnarvon. It was a movie that left us genuinely open-mouthed and on the edge of our seats more than once. There will be no spoilers in this review, so if you haven't seen the film yet and are on the fence about doing so, stick around to find out why you really should. First of all, this is Batman's movie, but it's not what you would think of when you imagine a Batman movie. Director Matt Reeves has delivered a 3-hour crime noir epic with Batman in it as a centrepiece rather than the comic book style romps that we've seen in the DCEU and the MCU thus far. Now, full disclosure, I've enjoyed Batman in all but one of his live action forms. So have enjoyed the campiness of Batman 66, the brooding gothic of Burton's version, Schumacher's conflicted Batman in Batman Forever, and Nolan's realistic character in his The Dark Knight trilogy, and Ben Affleck's world-weary veteran in the DCEU was, for me to this point, the best live-action version of a Batman we've had. Now, obviously, strengths will differ depending on nostalgia and various other things, but the scene in Batman v Superman where Batman's in the rafters and the cops looking, that was prime Batman for me. So only from the live action movie versions, only George Clooney for me has been a dud. Reeves and Pattinson give us a young, angry, not fully formed Batman. He is not the Dark Knight at this point in his journey. He is, to the thugs of Gotham, simply the Dark, giving this film an overarching theme of Batman learning what he needs to become to make a difference in Gotham City. That he needs to be more than a spook story, more than vengeance hiding in the shadows. And the acting and the script that Robert Pattinson provides and works from, and the way Reeves directs it, allows that part of the story to be exemplified on screen without taking away from all the other themes. And away from the title character, the supporting roles are all perfectly cast as well, with everyone bringing their A-game to their roles. First off, Andy Serkis is great as Alfred, the loyal guardian of Bruce Wayne, and he's also a great bat asset in his own right, providing physical training for Bruce to be able to fight as Batman, and also being able to help with code cracking and various other things. So he's not just a butler. Jeffrey Wright as Lieutenant Gordon adrift is one of the few good cops in the city. Zoe Kravitz is mesmerising as Selina Kyle and ranks up there with for me, the great performances of Michelle Pfeiffer, Julie Newmar, my favourite live-action Catwoman, and Eartha Kitt. Those two, as Batman's main allies in the field, excel in what they're given, what they've been given, and what they can provide to the roles. On the villain side, Colin Farrell is the perfect balance of camp and menace as Oswald Cobblepot. He's not yet the Penguin. And they did such a great job with the makeup on this that I genuinely forgot it was Farrell under the makeup. In the same way that when watching The Dark Knight, I never felt like I was watching Heath Ledger playing the Joker. He just was the character. Given less screen time, but excelling again, is John Turturro, who gives a great performance as Carmine Falcone in what I mentioned as limited screen time. And that leaves us with Paul Dano's Riddler, who is absolutely terrifying, creepy, unsettling, while also giving us the perfect comment on why their masks, Batman and Riddler's, is their true identity, and the public face, Bruce Wayne and Edward Ashton, is the actual persona they're hiding behind. Now, Riddler is my favourite villain from Batman's Rogues Gallery. As you can see here, if you can catch that, tattoo of the bat symbol with the Riddler question mark around it. He is my favourite character, and the previous versions from Frank Gorshin and Jim Carrey for me are both excellent. Jim Carrey was born to play that role. He should have been the sole villain. Two-Face was really miscast in that movie. But the version portrayed by Corey Michael Smith in the criminally underrated Gotham, the TV show, is top of the pile for me for live-action Riddlers. That's probably helped by him being given so much screen time over 5 seasons of a TV show, exploring his becoming and then being the Riddler. And Dano's iteration is one born of the ills of society. And like the best bad guys, his reasoning for doing what he does is justifiable. It's his methods that are the problem. He is clearly inspired by the Zodiac Killer. And this is a defining performance from Paul Dano, a guy who has a litany of defining performances behind him. The cinematography and the composition of shots is brilliant. The sound design itself should be a lock for trophies come award season. In the movie, the tech and gadgets for Batman are just beyond real world enough to keep it grounded. And the 3 main action set pieces, which were all glimpsed in the trailer, the Batmobile chase, the shootout in the darkened room lit only by gunfire, and the climax, they are fantastically done. They don't take away from the crime noir detective story, because as I mentioned, this is a detective Batman movie first and foremost. They don't take away from that. They actually complement each other really well. And by the way of sound and vision and action being combined, 2 major highlights are the introduction of Batman himself and the Batmobile. Seriously, for the latter of these, see it in a cinema with the best sound system available. The bass will rumble under your feet, and while you will have paid for the full seat, you'll only need the edge of it for what follows. Overall, the movie is an epic thriller, intentionally in the vein of Chinatown, Seven, and David Fincher's Zodiac movie. It will not be for everyone, and that is the beauty of Batman and his supporting characters. They can be interpreted in many different ways, at many different levels, from out-and-out camp to brooding morose violence, and everything in between. Josh and I both agree that this is a 5-star movie. But as mentioned, it is not going to be that for everyone, and that is okay. There's plenty of Batman for everybody, especially as there's currently 3 live-action movie versions on the go. We've got this one with Robert Pattinson, we've got Ben Affleck, who's going to reprise his DC EU version for the upcoming Flash movie, crossing over with Michael Keaton from the Burton versus Batman, coming in, although we don't know how much, if any, screen time they'll actually share. So it's a very exciting time to be a comic book fan, to be a Batman fan. This movie will not be suitable for younger viewers. I would wager and I would say that it's too cerebral for the young. The action set pieces are great, but at 3 hours long, there's a lot of exposition, and it is tense. It's a wonderful watch. It's not a comic book movie. So there you go. Thank you very much for watching this review of The Batman. Please like and share the video, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and look out for more great videos in the coming weeks. Goodbye.